I disagree with this. Not what he said, but what he's relaying, what he's hearing about the team. What I disagree with the team on, not Bedard on. Why does this have to be an either or? Why is this being presented as it will be an either or? That you can only fix your offensive line or only get receiver help. I mean, why? I'm sorry, guys. With that over the cap, $120 million of cap space you got there and the money you haven't spent for years now. What's stopping you from actually spending it all and, I don't know, trying to address both? Now, I'm not saying you're going to get the best guy you want at every position. What's stopping you, though? What's getting in your way?
Yeah, no kidding. Like
we can only fix the lines. Well, why? Can only get receivers or linemen, and we can't let Drake get killed. You got nothing. You can't run the offense if you don't have a line. Oh, okay. So why don't you guys do both? You have good draft capital. You have a boatload of money.
Yeah.
What's the problem?
I told you this last week. I said you get two players on offense, two linemen on offense. Sidney So, left guard, David Andrews, center, Michael Wonder, right guard. Go get a guy like Becton for your left tackle. And then you draft a guy like in the second or third round for your right tackle. And you go buy a receiver in free agency. You can do both. You have the money to do it. You got $119 in cap space. You could definitely do both. You could buy two tackles. You don't even have to draft one. You do have to pay a receiver, though. That's the one thing. That's the big problem.
And there's nothing stopping them from doing that. Nothing. There's nothing getting in the way of that.
It's a bad market.
It doesn't need to be an either or. Yeah, you can make a trade.
You got to go trade.
You've got all the resources to do something. You don't have the ability to sit there and make excuses about how you can only do so much in one offseason. Oh, by the way, this front office still led by Elliott Wolf, by the way.
You got the book?
Yeah, you guys didn't do anything last offseason, so you don't really get to tell us you can only do so much in one offseason. It was your decision to waste one last year. That was your call. You blew it. So now you've got some catching up to do. Because you got the quarterback, the simple, stupid pick at number 3 overall. You didn't even have a choice to make. You took the third best, perceived third best quarterback in a 3-quarterback draft, and you had the third pick. You didn't have to make a decision.
You were in the vicinity, too, to get like Coleman, who went to Buffalo, Leggett, who went to Carolina, who I love. You had a shot at both those guys. You sat there and waited, and you went with Polk.
Yeah, it's a great decision. So but you put yourself in this spot. If they had fired Elliott Wolf and they fired Matt Groh and they wiped the place out and said, yeah, we're not letting these guys do it again, I think I'd have a little bit more leeway. I'd have a little bit more forgiveness for we're starting from the ground up and it's off-season number 1. No, it isn't. It's not. It's actually the second off-season of these guys being in charge, even if Mike Vrabel breaks the ties. You want to leave these guys in there, fine, but it's now the second off-season that they're fully running the thing. And like the 6th that they've all been around. So I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear their excuses about how you can only do one or the other.
Right.
Or you can only do so much in one offseason.
It's not one or the other.
I watched the Commanders take a quarterback 2nd overall and turn their entire franchise around in one offseason. So it can be done. Is it rare? Yes. Do I have a lot of faith that the guys the Patriots have can do it? No. But at least get close.
No, you went
and don't make it an either or.
You went to the roster, too. There are 5 guys they drafted that were players at the end of the year. 5 draft picks they hit on. They got the quarterback. That's no problem. But they had a number 1 receiver. That was the easiest thing. 5. We have 1. That's Drake May. That's it. Right now. You can't count on anybody else right now.
But that part's rare, too. Like, you have a golden opportunity because as rare as the Washington offseason is, it's also rare to actually hit the way that they did on the number 3 overall pick and have a guy that you look at and say, well, this guy could be a top 10 quarterback in the NFL. So you have to take advantage of that, and you have to actually start to take advantage of the fact that the guy's on a rookie contract and surround him with major talent. We've seen Houston do it with C.J. Stroud. Yeah, take advantage of it while you can. Get aggressive.
Well, I'm not sure that Schefter's buying in on that. Yeah. I mean, to go the last decade and not truly invest, again, Mike Reese was talking about this with us during the season. over the last 10 years, ranking dead last in cash
Yep.
spending. I mean, the facts are the facts. They are what they are.
We talk about T. Higgins, too, like with Cincinnati. So it's Burrow, it's Chase, and it's T. Higgins. What about Miami? Miami's paying their quarterback $60 million. Tyreek Hill's making 31. The other guy's making 30. Like, they're paying their guys, and they're paying defensive guys. There's no reason you can't do it. It's not one or the other. Like, it's not one or the other. You could go out, you could buy 2 receivers. You could draft a tackle, buy 1 tackle. And that's a big start right there. You already got the tight end. You got the backs. You have 1 receiver in Pop Douglas. That's about it. Get other guys and have Josh coach them. And I think that's a start. I do. I think it's a start. I really do. Defensively, you have some problems.
Here's another clip for you. Andrew Callahan from Toucher and Hardy talking about the Patriots and their offseason spending and how fans should be upset if they are not at the top of the list when it comes to that spending, which I fully agree with.
Should fans be upset if the Patriots aren't like at the cap in spending going into next year?
Yes, but what will happen is, because this is the way they operate as well as some other teams, is they'll go into the regular season with like $10 million left in space. And part of this is if you need to make any sort of midseason additions, you've got the cap to do so, but you can always create cap. In addition to the per-game roster bonuses, which is the way they've done business forever. Maybe it changes with Ryan Cowden and Elliott Wolf, but Belichick would build in, okay, every game you play, you get a little bit more here if you're available. And that was the way of kind of dangling a carrot through the course of the season. If they continue to do that, they'll want to have money there to spend and hand over per game to award those players with the roster bonuses. So, no, I would not say freak out. But if they're not among the top spenders in free agency, absolutely. Like, they operated last offseason when everyone's going, where's all the money going? They still ranked in the top half of the league, by the way, with how many contracts they signed to players internally and that were pretty expensive. Doesn't look good now. But the goal of last offseason was to roll over cap space. Here we are, $120 million, more than $30 million than the number 2 team. Let's go.
So he thinks they're going to have 10 in cap space left, which means they're going to spend 110.
Oh, they've been doing that forever with this phony baloney, got to leave $10 million. You know what that allows them to do? Spend $10 million less while they keep telling you about the big midseason acquisition they're going to make that chews up $10 million in cap space. When has that ever happened?
Not sure. I'm not convinced they're going to spend 110.
Does anyone have any idea when that last happened, when they definitely needed all that cap space available to them in the middle of the season? Or is that just some phony baloney excuse to not spend another $10 million or not fully extend yourself? That's what it comes down to. It's bogus nonsense. They've been doing it forever.
Yeah.
Forever. You got to have a little bit of space. For what? Why? The Eagles don't need
Draft picks.
Why is it that the team that just won the Super Bowl doesn't require that little bit of space for those big midseason acquisitions? Oh, I know why.
It's a good point.
Because they actually spend it in the offseason when the best players are available and they build their roster the right way.
Helps, yeah.
$60 million quarterback. You know what A.J. Brown makes. You know what Smith makes. And then they go out and get Barkley. $12 million. No problem. Then they pay all their defensive guys. They max out. You got a guy on a rookie deal, a quarterback. You should be able to spend. You should spend the cap. To the cap. I don't think they're going to spend 110. I really don't. I could see them spending 80, 90 million bucks. Because someone's going to tell them no. Guy like T. Higgins could tell them no. Then you're going down to the second tier. Now you got to get creative. Now you got to trade.
You know who's third in available cap space this offseason, too? The
Giants.
Washington Commanders.
Oh, great.
I don't know how they did it. I don't know how they did it, guys.
All rookies. Guys on rookie deals.
They had a terrible team a year ago. They had a better pick than the Patriots thanks to a terrible season. And they turned it around. They were in the NFC title game, and now they also have $80 million to spend. Can you imagine if they outspend the Patriots this offseason?
No.
Wow, that'll be special. How about Tom Brady and the Raiders? If they outspend the Patriots this offseason, they are second in cap space.
Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
How the Cardinals 70 million under?
Because they're not very good.
Yeah, but they're paying the receivers. They're paying the quarterback. They got a couple defensive guys.
They don't have a deep roster.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't. You're right.
Kyler and that's it. I feel like in terms of big contracts there.
The Raiders, the Commanders.
Raiders don't even have a quarterback.
Imagine if those teams spend more. Oh, that would be very disappointing.
Commanders would bug me because they're already good.
As it should.
Raiders, they have to. They're not good.
Pete Carroll, your guy. He's there.
2 years. Hey, if you like that clip, check out more videos from Zolak and Bertrand right here. For more Patriots analysis and opinion, hit this playlist. And for all the latest from the Sports Hub, download the app at 985thesportshub.com.